4 p.m. So you can't leave the place right now. I request Dr. Gauri Reddy Garu to chair the session. So now I invite Dr. A. Jagadish Garu, Senior Pediatric Early Interventionist from Apollo Medical College and Hospital, Hyderabad. He would be giving his insights regarding neurodevelopmental disabilities, role of early intervention in the first 1,000 days. Sir, please.
Applause, please. Guys, don't leave. So we'll get a buzzer at 25 minutes so that you can write off the session.
Hello? Hello? Yes. Sabhaya Namaha. Gurubhyo Namaha. Sabak Namaskaram. Myself, I am Dr. Jagadish from the Neurodevelopmental Chapter of Indian Academy of Pediatrics. Currently, I am practicing at Apollo Institute of Medical Sciences, Research, and Apollo Hospitals, Department of Pediatrics. Thanks for inviting me to present a talk on first 1,000 days. The importance of the first 1,000 days. I am dedicating this session to my professor, Dr. P. Sudarshan Reddy, who was an ex-superintendent of Government Developer Hospital and also the head of the Department of Pediatrics, Apollo Institute of Medical Sciences. Children respect those who respect them. Children respect those who respect them, whether the child with normalcy, whether the child with abnormalcy, whatever the child is child. So we need to respect them. Then only we can expect the respect from them. So the smile that flickers on a baby's lips when he sleeps, does anyone know where it was born? Yes, there is a rumor that a young pale beam of crescent moon touched the edge of vanishing autumn cloud. And the smile was first born in the dream of Jew Washmore. You know who is this? Rabindranath Tagore. So a happy family is a healthy biological unit in the society. When the family is disorganized, definitely there will be a problem. That leads to the community issue, that leads to the problems in the society. So when there is a rightness in the heart, there is a beauty in the character. When there is a beauty in the character, there is a harmony in the home. When there is a harmony in the home, there is an order in the society. When there is an order in the society, there is a peace in the nation and the world. So as who said, WHO, World Health Organization, very clearly defined the health as components. What are the components? Physiological, that is somatic, intellectual, that is a cognitive, psychological and emotional as well as spiritual. So that is why the Qs are different. Developmental quotient DQ, spiritual quotient SQ, social quotient SQ, and also emotional quotient EQ. So we have to take care of all these. But we are focusing on IQ rather than other Qs, which is really greatly affecting the present generation of the society. So every parent definitely, certainly expects a healthy child. Healthy child. So what the parents do expect? A super child. So what is super here? A health, intelligence, studies, as well as behavioral and sports and earnings. Any parent definitely do expect all these. A healthy mother definitely gives rise to a child with healthy. Am I right? So if the mother is not healthy, the child also becomes ill. The illness may be psychological or emotional or social, everything. So when you talk about the 0 to 1,000 days, what is 0? Is it after the birth? No. From the day of conception till the age of second birthday of the child. That is what the 0 to 1,000 days. So if you look at the God is such a great architect engineer, he clearly designed the days of 1,000. It's a numerical. but lot of significance behind this. So look at the development. See, the pregnancy exactly 270 days, and the first year 365, second year again 365, total sum of 1000 days. Such a count, no one cannot do, predict or assume even. This is the reality. So this is the first 1000 days. So if you look at the Garbha Samskar, it is already there 7000 years old. What is Garbha Samskar? This is the Adi Garbha. Adi. The first is the education institution for any child is the mother's womb or uterus, where the child procreates or upbringing. Because of the genetics, because of the epigenetics, or because of the nutrigenetics. Okay? So a child's mental and emotional as well as behavioral development starts as soon as possible. That is from the day of conception. Day of conception, not after the birth. But generally what we do, we focus on the after the birth, not prior. Okay, so we need to invest here. So this is what the story of the baby begins much more before the birth. Yes? Accepted? All of you? Before the birth. How many of you are not married? Please raise the hands. Not married. Please. This is a very useful session for all of you. So, if you plan a pregnancy, it should be a choice, not by chance. We need to discuss. The couple should discuss. Then only they have to take a right decision. Okay? So, being relaxed can double the chances of becoming healthy pregnant. So, nowadays what is happening? They are going to IVF. Yes or no? And also ovulation stimulation drugs. Like, metformin and also latrozole and also bromocriptine. These are the drugs definitely, certainly will be having adverse effects. So which may cause the preterm babies as well as low birth babies and also very low birth weight babies and extreme low birth weight babies also sometimes. So what is the percentage? Minimum 5 to 8% of the probability or chances are there. Okay. So when it comes to the pregnancy, generally most of the people think that it's an internal pregnancy. How can you say it is external pregnancy? But it is external too. Let's see how. Both. So, pregnancy continues externally for the first 2 years after the birth. So, helpless creatures in the human beings are the helpless creatures in there. Because if you look at the reptiles or aves, after the coming from the mother's womb, just they comes and hops and jumps and walks independently. But when it comes to the human being, it will take 1 year to walk independently. To speak one word, single meaningful word at the age of 1 year. So helpless creatures, this is what. So right nurturing matters here a lot because of the early development. Okay. So babies continues to be kind of external pregnancy for an entire 2 years. So this is a connection. Inside of the mother's womb, the fetus will be connected to the mother through umbilical cord for the nurturing, water, the nutrition, everything. But outside, breastfeeding. So the connecting point is changing, that's it here. Inside is the umbilical cord, external it is a nipple, the breastfeeding. So here what is happening? The emotional as well as psychological bond is happening. A kind of wrapper is constructing between the mother and the child inside, that is in utero. At the same time, neuro exercise also is happening and neuro nutrients also the fetus is getting from the mother through oxygen, the oxygenated blood. So neuro exercise is nothing but taking the milk from the mother's breast. That is a neurocognition or neuro exercise, emotional exercise, emotional EQ. EQ is happening here only. Okay? So it's not just milk baby is getting, just like during pregnancy, both mother and baby become on physical and as well as emotional system. They are one, you cannot separate. If you separate, the child may develop and the mother also may develop sad. SAD. What is that? Separation anxiety, it is what? Okay? So, positive thoughts. What is positive thoughts? The mother has to sit in a private environment. The baby has to sit. That is privacy. But talking with someone and giving the milk, it's not called breastfeeding. Okay? It's not called breastfeeding. And preconceptual guiding is very important for the younger people. Like how to plan the pregnancy, and also health of the people, sexual health of the people, nutrition of the women, which matters a lot. Avoidance of the substance abuse also, we have to take care. And prenatal stimulation is very important. That is about the good mental health and psychological health, learning the techniques to stimulate the baby. That is a prenatal. I am talking about the gestational. So it's a maternal aspect is involved. And also creating happy atmosphere in the home environment because of the in-laws, because of the husband, because of the psychological or emotional or physiological illness or financial problems, if the mother is under distress, not distress, definitely that will affect the growing brain of the baby. Okay, preparing the whole family for a baby arrival is very important. If you this I like this poster actually, that's what I kept. You know the Rami Krishna, the Bahubali, the both. She's a it's a breastfeed. It's a kind of social, conveying or message. That's what I kept here. So breast milk is a complete package of the neuronutrients and also neuro exercise. And when it comes to the play and communication, I don't know how many children are really playing outside, not the play inside of the home. I mean the house. The child needs to play outside. The child needs to explore the outside environment. That is a space. He has to run, he has to sweat, he has to talk, he has to interact with the environment. Environment means not only the walls. Environment means people present in that environment, and also people's gesture and posture and the language, everything matters here. Okay? So, play, if you look at the importance and significance of the play, to create a new synapse, in the brain, the synaptogenesis, early synaptogenesis is happening. So, 400 repetitions are required, but with the play only 20 repetitions. So, such a very fast neuronal plasticity is happening. So we should not neglect. This is what the power of communication and language of nutrition. But the positive hormones, if you look at, the oxytocin is very important hormone which improves the positive mood of the, at the same time stress coping mechanism as a defense and also social well-being and trust and empathy also. Okay, so healthy nutrition, normal weight, overnutrition, overweight, undernutrition, underweight. That's it. Whatever you are giving, you are getting the same. So give your best to get the best. So flavor bridge is a concept. My daughter is not taking this food. My son is not taking this food. Most of the mothers, they complain. You know why? The reason is, during the pregnancy period or during the gestation period, whatever the mother is consuming, the various types of foodstuffs, same the child also will get. So that baby will eat the same. So that is why we need to encourage the maternal mothers to take all types of balanced diet. Not the diet. Balanced diet. So if you look at the prenatal, the importance of the first 1,000 days, the baby, the fetus will learn the sense of touch during the 8 weeks and pain sensation during the 27th week of the gestational period, taste again 12 weeks, swallowing 13 weeks, hearing, listening, learning, almost 18 weeks. So it plays a very important role. So even the baby can recognize the mother's and father's voice also. It may be a bilingual, it may be a trilingual, whatever the language. Okay? So the Indian mythology, what they say, Abhimanyu and Bhakta Prahlada stories. Yes or no? So there is an evidence. So if you look at the human brain development, the early synaptogenesis of the vision pathways, hearing pathways, language and higher cognition pathways are happening prior to the birth. So inside, in utero, intrauterine. So after the birth, nothing is happening. Everything is software is happening during the pregnancy period itself. So we need to focus, we need to invest much from the day one of conception till the birth. Much. This is what the early synaptogenesis. Epigenetics affects genes. This is really interesting research. 20% genetic role will be there and 60% epigenetics, that is environment in which the mother as well as the baby is growing, and also the nutrigenetics, that is 20%, the diet which the mother as well as the baby is taking. So telomere effects and also synaptogenesis, the brain listens to the environment. So whatever the environment which you are giving, the same way the child also will become. Okay. So epigenetic effects, the genes listen to the environment. So nutrition, environmental toxins, abusive behavior, maternal stress, we need to avoid. We need to avoid during the gestational period. So these are the neuronutrients, we can call it as IQ nutrients, which are very essential for the mother to consume during the pregnancy period. Even after the birth, the baby has to take all these neuronutrients. The why? Because it's the micronutrients which are very, very essential for the early synaptogenesis or early synaptoformation. So interact with the fetus. So when the mother, my baby is like this, the mother talks with love and care and concern. So when the mother has to talk with the baby inside during the third trimester. So it is very important. And also we sincerely advise or suggest to avoid the electronic gadgets. Electronic gadgets definitely affects the early sign of There's no doubt. We are saying 70% of the children with autism spectrum disorder nowadays are because of early exposure to the electronic gadgets. What is early? During the pregnancy itself. The mother may be IT professional or something. So naturally, there's a small dose of radiation which directly, impart or enter into the cells. I mean the neurons as well as neuro connections. So please do avoid. Okay. Next. So prenatal bonding is very important. Establishing a rich connection with the prenate womb is a stimulating phase. How many of you accept the womb is a stimulating environment? Modati body, Adi body is the institution is not outside primary institution, the school. The institution of the primary institution of the child is the inborn. That is the womb. Okay? The womb. So we should respect this womb. Babies in the womb are alert, awake, and attentive to activities. It may be a voice, it may be a touch, it may be a music, that is a soft music, and also taste and smell. So gustatory, olfactory, and all the sensory development will take place during the pregnancy period itself. Okay? So India has the fastest growing population with one child born in every 2 seconds. So many children are admitting in NICU, newborn intensive care unit, with low birth weight, very low birth weight, extreme low birth weight, anorexia, asphyxia, neonatal, and also septic. There are so many septic shock, and also RDS, respiratory distress syndrome. So many neonates are developing. See, we say, for example, in NICU, one baby got admitted. So the baby will be exposed to the monitor sounds, lights, during phototherapy. So this is all the stress. This environmental stress definitely causes the brain of the baby. That baby may develop attention deficit hyperactive disorder, attention deficit disorder, specific learning disability like dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia, even autism spectrum disorder. So we have to avoid, and also we have to give neurodevelopmental follow-up for these babies. Then only we can save. So what about the brain potential? 200 million children under 5 years fail to reach their potential in cognitive or intellectual development. So over 43% are risk or if not fulfilled. So risk children are increasing day by day in Indian developing countries preferably. Okay. So nutritional value, if you look at, 38.4% are stunted. That means the growth and development is stunted in India. So we are at risk. 58.6% is anemic. Most of the girls, Indian girls, who are young girls who got or who attend puberty are suffering with anemia. That is causing, when they conceive the babies, when they conceive, they are going to get problem. I mean, they are going to get problems. They are going to give problems to their babies also. So we have to address the anemia issue in the young adolescent girls, even the young women also. So taking iodine during the pregnancy definitely boosts the brain, baby's brain. And cholesterol deficiency is associated with irritability, aggression, hyperactive behavior. And zinc deficiency is associated with inattention and also lack of attention. And magnesium deficiency also with hyperactive behavior, just like in the case of ADHD. And iron deficiency definitely associated with insomnia, sleeping sickness, and lower IQ and attention problems. Hypothyroidism is associated with the developmental deviations or delays and also inattention. And pregnant women with gum and teeth, that is periodontal, this is high risk of delivering a baby with preterm as well as low birth weight babies. So there are negative hormones. If the mother is having anxiety, there is a chance of increased cortisol. Definitely it will affect or it will cause the premature delivery. So we have to take care of the maternal mother. That is the duty of the family members. So what are the 10 commands of the prenatal stimulation? One is tactile, that is nothing but the maternal touch, and flavor bridge, eat variety of food, not only 2-3 items. I don't like this, if I eat this, I may get the vomiting sensation or nausea like that, pregnant women say. But we have to encourage to eat everything. And auditory stimulation, that is nothing but providing the soft music to the babies as well as mother, and visual stimulation. Avoid TV, social media. This is a very important bit which is happening. Healthy body and healthy mind. Avoid maternal stress. Father's role is very important. We should not neglect or ignore. We need to involve them also. Okay. And reduction of the stress during labor allows the natural birthing hormone. In India, we are encouraging nowadays in the hospitals the birth content, the spouse, he has to be there during the labor process. So the maternal mother, first time she will relax mentally or emotionally. So there is a probability of giving normal delivery. Am I right? That is the reason, culturally, there is generally we send the, women to the maternal homes for the first time delivery. Second time, also better to encourage the husbands to accompany during the labor process to prevent the C-section. Okay. So labor and birth are beautifully designed by the nature. Natural birth practices are not only safe but also good for children. So let us respect the nature and its ways. And birthing atmosphere is very important. Pleasant atmosphere at labor room, encouraging medical staff and supporting husband, good newborn care and minimal infections. So all these are all important. Infant nutrition, of course, nutrition is very important. But what type of nutrition we are giving to the baby, that matters a lot during the first 1,000 days of the life of the baby. Okay. So the postnatal stimulation of the child definitely stimulate the major domains, that is gross motor, fine motor, adaptive, personal, social, sensory and social skills and speech language communication, preferably the functional communication, reciprocal communication, which is the autism children, they will be suffering with the reciprocal communication difficulty. So the spouse and family member to accompany during the childbirth is very important, and how many children are she is having, that is very important. Whenever there is a child born in the home, the mother also born. So we need to celebrate 3 birthdays if the mother is having 3 children. This we need to encourage. This I am conveying this message to all the audience. The moment a child is born, the mother also born. Okay? And brain is the only organ not fully developed at the birth. 90% of the critical brain development occurs in the first 1,000 days. First 1,000 days, 90%. So there is a need for a universal nurture curriculum from 0, that is just 1 of conception till the 3 years, that is almost 1,000 days. So a powerful curriculum is very important, that is infant nutrition in the form of IQ nutrients, and also infant programming, that is IQ exercise, that is breastfeeding as well as outdoor play. Exercise, that is breastfeeding as well as outdoor play, and also nurturing environment, that is a positive stimulation during the critical window of the first 1,000 days. Generally the woman elephant expects that, oh, my baby should be big size and a big trunk. Am I right? The woman mother expects, definitely. Even the giraffe expects, my baby should have a long head, the neck. And the peacock expects a colorful peacock baby. And the human expects an intelligent child. Yes or no? So the story of the brain started in the womb, the structure was made in the womb, but the wiring between the brain cells is not completed. So the first 2 years of life, it is for the wiring. That is what the early neuronal synaptogenesis. So intellectuals solve problems, but the genius prevents the problems. There are so much of investments. Nowadays we are focusing, we are investing on the therapies, disabilities, budget, everything. But we are not focusing on the prevention. Prevention is better than curation. This is what the levels of prevention, primary, secondary and tertiary. So we need to focus on the preventive aspects. So many things we need can wait, but the child cannot. Now it is the time for his bones form and also his mind develop. To him we cannot say tomorrow, his day is tomorrow, today. This is very important. Today we have to intervene the child, not tomorrow. If you postpone to tomorrow, that means some damage, that is irreversible damage, may happen. So, if you want your child to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. Simple. Yes? So, most of the parents I observed, after listening to the therapist, sometimes they stimulate excessively. They stimulate the brain of the baby excessively. The overstimulation causes so much of hypersensitivity problems. It may be auditory, visual, or tactile, or gustatory, or general processing, or behavioral processing, and which may lead to sensory processing disabilities and sensory modulation disabilities or disorders. So, these are nothing but what the child just likes is the hugs and kisses. Can't you view? Why we are scolding our children? Yes? Okay. Is a cruiser 9-month baby, and the 12-month baby is the explorer, and the 18 months, that is 1.5 year baby, is a walker. Okay, the toddler creed. If you look at this slide, it's so interesting. If I want it, it's mine. If I give it to you, change my mind later, it's mine. Whatever the object or toy. If I take it away from you also, it's mine. Okay? If it's mine, it will never belongs to anyone in this world. Okay? No matter whatever it is. If we are building something together, all the pieces are mine. If it looks just like mine, it's mine. This is what the greedy. Yes, greedy nature. Okay. So every child, early childhood development for every child, early movements. What are the early movements? What he sees, what he touches, what he listens, everything. Okay, early movements matters a lot. This is a very, very important slide. Why can't we focus, why can't we invest on early, that is pregnancy period, during the antenatal or prenatal period, the investment in the form of maternal nutrition, maternal stimulation, providing a nurturing environment or motivating environment or stimulating environment. So other programs not required. But the government has to invest on antenatal health care of the pregnant women so that we can prevent the disabilities, developmental disabilities in the country. Okay. So a compelling investment. So the children who get right nutrition during the first 1,000 days are more likely as adults to have healthier families and also go on to earn 21% of the wages and complete 4.6 more grades at school and also are 10 times more likely to overcome the most life-threatening diseases. So why can't we invest during the prenatal period? So it is easier to build strong children than repair broken man. It's very easy. So investing on these early childhood days, that is the first 1,000 days, really matters a lot. So even the Lancet clearly expressed in 2016 in its research that the series emphasizes finally nurturing care, especially for children below 3 years of age. So we need to focus on ECD. ECD is early childhood development programs. So what you do, what you eat, what you experience during the first 1,000 days has lifelong consequences. So you know the brain is very complicated than the human computer. A human computer is complicated to the brain nowadays. Which is complicated? Both are irritating when the time comes. That does not have emotional competency like humans. Humans also are missing emotional competency, social competency. Okay. So, the first 1,000 days plays a very important crucial role, a singular window of golden opportunity. 90% of the child brain development happens before the age of 5 years. The parents comes to you, 1.5 years of age or 2 years. My child is not walking, my child is not speaking, my child is not doing all this eye contact and all. So, you need to identify early identification of red flags of the development, early screening, early assessment, early intervention. All these early really matters a lot. Okay? Because at birth 100 billion neurons will be formed, 15% connections only will be made. 85% still yet to connect, so there is an opportunity. You can use it. Because by the age of 3 years, 10,000 connections will be formed for each neuron in the central nervous system. So 75% of the brain growth will be completed by 2 years of the age. So repeated parents-child interaction definitely certainly helps the parents, the child, the memories, relationship form, learning, logical thinking, everything will develop. So the repeated word I highlighted. Okay. For example, when you are going to the jungle or forest, what you will be holding? A stick. What you will do with stick? You will clear the pathways. You will use that stick as a defensive mechanism or defensive tool. Yes or no? So I am walking in the jungle. Road will form. No. If for example 500 people follows me, some line will form. Yes. If 10,000 people follows me, one bigger line. Yes. If 1 lakh people follows me, national highway will form. Yes or no? After 1 month or 2 months of that busy traffic or road, suddenly everyone stops. Stop it. What happens after 3 months, 6 months? Again, jungle will form. So what is happening to the neuronal connections or pathways? You have to use it or either you have to lose it. So synapse, the connections, we have to repeatedly repeat or exercise. Then only the pathways will be formed from the periphery to the central nervous system. Okay, use it or lose it. So epigenetics is reporting that the long-term emotional inoculation is very essential. During the COVID-19, all of us, we have taken vaccines. Yes? Yes. Why? To avoid. Yes? This is also one vaccine. What vaccine? This name, Love. This vaccine name is Love. It is available free of cost. It will not be available in the dispensaries or medical dispensaries. It is purely available only from the mother and father at free of cost. Can't you give this inoculation to the child in a balanced way? Yes. So persistent stress changes brain architecture in the child's brain. So the normal brain using and the toxic stress causes the damaged neuron connections. Okay. So environmental factors definitely plays a role. So what are the fuel for the growing bodies? Good nutrition, good health care, and sense of security feeling and early learning, talking, singing, playing. That's it. Repeatedly we have to expose. Okay. So I always use the positive approach. Like yes, good, well done, more. Don't use the word do not. Use the word do rather than do not with the child. If you use the word do not, he will do that only. Yes, you are reminding don't do. That is the pity of the mothers because of the frustration. But use the word do so that behavior modification. Okay. So positive interaction between the mother and infant definitely helps to develop the cerebral circuits, which are very essential. Okay, man is by nature a social animal. You know that human brain needs communication and interaction with other humans for it to grow. Otherwise, it will not grow. Can you isolate yourself in the room like Arundhati or Chandramukhi? After 10 months, once you comes outside, what happens? So humans needs humans to interact. Why can't a child needs a peer group? Then why you are not allowing the child to go to the neighbors? Why you are arresting? Huh? Okay. Do not separate the mother from the child. I have written inside working parents, especially. Morning she goes to work, she'll come back by 8 o'clock in the night. Can the child develop separation anxiety disorder? Yes or no? Yes. She'll wait. The baby will wait for the mother. The baby craves for the mother. The baby cries for the mother. So many psychological, emotional, psychiatric problems the baby will be getting. So we should not separate. Because separation may lose their sense of security, trust, self-confidence, behavior and emotional problems. Because you know how the negative formative years can impact a child's development. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, juvenile delinquency, low self-esteem, lacking a sense of belonging, developing depression, mental health issues, addictions, so many. And World Health Organization clearly indicated and recommended and prescribed globally that 2 to 4 years, 1 hour of screen day, that too co-viewing. The mother has to accompany, the mother has to explain. But what the mothers are doing now? They are giving the cell phones. Yes or no? For the feeding. YouTube. What is that? Rhymes. So what is happening? The child is becoming robotic. The brain of the child is becoming robotic. That's called digital parenting. Okay. So the behaviors that are the result of the screen time, all of you know very well. Just have a look. DSM 5th criteria accepted the internet associated disorder as an addiction disorder. Very recently. Okay. So do not use TV, video games, smartphones. My child will see only TV and I am not giving cell phone and For her, TV is not a gadget. Cinema theater is not a gadget. 70 mm screen. That is also gadget. I am giving number of toys to my child and 10,000 collections are there. Collection is there. Costly toys, imported toys from America. So the child is interacting with the toy. How can the child develop speech language? There is no human. There is no human interaction. He's just working with the toy. Toy is a toy, does not have life and emotion. How can the child develop speech language communication, reciprocal communication, human interaction? There is no human interaction. So avoid. So too much gadget use definitely damage the child. It can cause speech language communication developmental delay, attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder, learning problems, SLD, and sleep problems, insomnia, or hyposomnia, or hypersomnia, generalized childhood anxiety disorder, childhood depressive disorder. So for a baby development, do not rely on genetic code only, as a significant role is played by the environment, which we create, not the child. We are adults, we need to create, not the child. Okay. There are two types, angels and devils. Both are there in the home. Who are the angels? Let us see. This is angel, grandparent, our mother's love, touch, soft touch, care, concern, everything. And ghosts are like a psychoanalytic approach to the problems impaired infant-mother relationship. Impaired infant-mother relationship is nothing but the ghost in the nursery. What is nursery? The first nursery is the mother's womb. Second nursery is the home. Third nursery is the education institution. Okay? Now this is the ghost or the angel? Now postpartum depression. Ghost. It's a ghost. This, it is not breastfeeding. It is not breastfeeding. It is our feeding. It is not balanced breastfeeding. It is not balanced breastfeeding. This is also PPH. Sorry, postpartum, the depression. It's a ghost from the nursery, tracing the roots of violence. The ghost in the nursery, the maternal representations of a woman who killed her baby. It happens. In the history, many times it happens. Out of 5 children, one parent with mental illness. Do you accept? It's a global report. 2019. Okay? So mood disorder can present in a spectrum. The mood disorder to the mother, not the child. For the child, mood disorder is inherited from the mother. Okay? So this is what the overlapping symptoms of MDD as well as GAD. So 10 to 20% of the postpartum women experience anxiety and depressive disorders. Mother-infant interactions are susceptible and having proneness to develop the disruption and also the disharmony in the home. So how the child feels like what? Forgotten, removed, alone, lost, abandoned, forsaken, neglected, so many. So many. It is what? The spectrum. This we call it as a spectrum of psychopathology. So around 80% of the new parents nowadays, the young couples, are not prepared for the pregnancy. They don't know the parenting, whether they accept or not, because of the nuclear families. They don't know the parenting. Seriously. I think in the future, the government may start parenting schools in India. Because they are anxious. They are having OCD. They are having GAD, generalized anxiety disorder. So they are very anxious to know about the child. They do doctor shopping, they do therapist shopping. All these are all because of this. So the decision to have a baby should be made mutually between the husband and wife. Okay? So Indian Academy of Pediatrics, recently we developed one kind of standardized vaccination schedule with developmental delays. So that the pediatrician can identify when the child comes for the vaccination, what type of development the child got attained. In Tamil Nadu, this has been enforced already. Now it is going to spread to entire India. So equity education begins at home. You cannot blame the school or the institution for not nurturing values in your child, which you have not instilled in them. Okay? So whatever the parents do, simple. The child also do. Monkey see, monkey do. And internet-derived information obstructing the medical treatment. That is idiot syndrome as well as hypochondria. Most of the people are suffering nowadays with. Because they are watching the Google, they are approaching Dr. Google and they are all developing these problems. And India is very high. Please look at this diagram. I mean, this picture or the statement, more than 30% of the children under 5 years who are stunted by country. That is in 2018. So, catch them young, intervene early. Be who you needed when you were younger. I have saved the lives of 150 people by heart transplants. If I had focused on preventive medicine earlier, I might have saved 150 million. So prevention is very important rather than curation. Any doubts? Thank you so much. I don't know how far it is. Short time you have given. I came at 12:15, but now you people waited me till now. You are not giving extra 5 minutes.
Thank you, Dr. Jagdish.
Thank you so much. And one important point, we are conducting one clinical internship program. Already 6 batches completed successfully. 7th batch we are going to start from the November 1st week. And this is in association with the Government of Telangana, Department of School Education, and Pediatric Academy of Telangana State, and also Indian Academy of Cerebral Palsy, and Indian Academy of Usman University also joined in this. If anyone interested, you can approach later. Thank you so much. Please. Can you say loudly, please?
You mentioned an article by Salma Freiberman, which talks about ghosts in the nursery, right?
Yes.
Ghosts in the nursery.
Yes.
So my question is, why didn't you mention anything regarding intergenerational transmission of trauma?
Yes, intergenerational transmission of trauma. The elder generation, then next younger generation, then after parents, then after the child. This is what the transitional of symptomology, that is psychopathology, which is happening. But here there is a gap. How many of we are really following our elders? Do we respect our values or we are respecting the elder values? No one. Because of the self. But the trauma and resilience is different. Which one we are talking about, the resilience also we have to talk. But the child at present generation is at risk. High risk, that too not mild, and moderate risk, I can say that. So that is what the intergenerational of trauma. Okay?
So
It may be a genetics, it may be epigenetics, it may be a nutrigenetics, it may be a perinatal genetics also. Yes, ma'am. One important video I want to play. This is a very important, just only for. Is it coming? Yeah, please have a look. How is it? Any doubts? I am so happy to address today at this platform that I met Dr. Gauri after a long time. Dr. Usha Naik. We are all colleagues for a period of, I think, 27 years in Nilofer Hospital. Dr. Krishan Nayak and myself, Dr. Gauri, Dr. Shepard, Rishi.
Rishi again.
Yeah, so long journey. So really, thank you so much, the management of Rainbow, Somashekar especially for calling me. And, excellent. I tried my best for a period of small period, whatever is there, just short slides. Thank you so much, audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jagdish. I think a very well comprehensive approach to the first 1,000 days, covering all aspects of development. So that is good. And I think that
Any doubts, any questions, 2 questions we can accept from the audience? Yes? No questions?
They asked the
Are
question.
you all there?
Understood anything?
They asked the question before the chance.
Yeah?
We already asked it.
No doubts? General?
Crystal clear?
Yes. Great.
Good. Now I invite Dr. Gauri ma'am to felicitate Dr. Jagdish Garu.
This is what I expect.
That is what it is.
I invite Dr. Shravan from CDC Hyderabad to have a nice 5-minute interactive activity.
Thank you very much. But today's my topic is it's an extension version of what Dr. Jagadish sir has been spoken. So just now we were very well understand that the sensory experience starts from the womb itself. Okay, so once by mistake, whatever the reason, once the child out of the mother womb, there is something went wrong, then who will take care of these kind of sensory stimulus or sensory waste? So in the process of once the diagnosis has been done and then the referral starts when therapy, child land up finally at the therapist's hand. What happens in the therapist's hand and what things happens in the therapist hand, that just I want to highlight here. So yeah. So when a therapist working with the kid, what happens? Like no, they will try to give in a kind of a stimulation. It could be in a like what to say, like speech therapy or the related to something like education, like special education or physiotherapy or occupational therapy, whatever the therapy that itself is a stimulation. Once the stimulation is given to the child brain, then automatically they will receive. Once they receive, then they process it, then there will be an output. For output only we are working through in terms of stimulation. So this output, it could be in a moment or the motor, like physically they will show, or some children are in some therapies it could be in a behavioral component, some could be in a communication or language mode, or in some children it could be in a cognitive learning. Okay, these are all the happens. If go back to the nervous system here, if the nervous system couldn't receive or couldn't process, then we have to cross check what happening, why child is not showing much improvement or not child giving. Today morning also we have some of the lecture we have seen the adaptive response from the child. Why it's not happening? Just because there is a dysregulation. Already there is an impact has been done to the brain. Already child has been not able to cope up. On top of there is an element of dysregulation is happening. If the child has a better regulation, what happens? Child is ready to learn anything in stimulation what you are going to give. So when the child enter into the therapy place or within the family members, whatever, so to get the proper stimulation or experience in terms of sensory, they need to have a co-regulation. So it could be in any form. Okay, if you see here, child will express, modulate their thoughts, feelings, and behavior through the co-regulation. Like whatever the warmth of response is you are putting towards the child, then the child will get a response or child get the good regulation. So this is inter-exchange. Like no, just Jagdish sir also is one point of time. Like no, what you are going to, the child is going to hear, or I'm not sure that word sir. What you are going to hear, the child also will say some similar to that. So it's in a mutual interrelationship. Where this interrelationship happens, or the child is needed by the family, by the therapist, or the people who are take care or caring. So if the child is under regulated at the time of therapy or at the time of assessment, at the time of whatever the intervention, whatever you are doing it, what happens? This co-regulation is going to be modified into self-regulated. For example, now at this point of time, somebody has some commitment. I'm going to meet you at 4 o'clock. Now it's already 3:30. People are not leaving it. Will you able to focus what things are happening here? Means already you are dysregulating from the scenario. Same way, if the child is already in dysregulated because of some external factor, then they cannot focus, they cannot learn. So when we start the therapy, try to get or try to enhance on the self-regulation of the child, then you start intervention. This, to get this self-regulation, it could be in a 1 day, it could be in a 1 month, it could be in 3 months. That is not in our hand. But see, sometimes it's in our hand, like no, you get attached, tuned to the child, then child will get connected to you. If we are not little resilient or we are not potential enough to understand the what child emotion is, then it takes in a longer time. Okay, in the therapy, because I practice sensory integration, so I am going towards in that lane. So when I give in a sensory information for a self-regulation, a child who has in a better self-regulation, then child will respond more relaxed way. If it is an environment or the person who was dealing with the kid is more towards a negative environment or like no threatened mode, then child may not learn much. So in sensory integration, I just highlighted like no, we work with the touch senses, we work with the vestibular sense, and we work with the proprioceptive senses along with social interaction is the key during the therapy. If there is no social interaction, it's like no monotonous or like no more like no robotic form. You come and you finish it and go. Then again, child, no self-regulation, no learning. That's where like no, we fail to show much change in the child. It could be minimal change to the maximum. So this social interaction, it's not only in a therapist. We can involve in the therapy. The family members can be supported, or like no therapist to therapist, or two therapists with one child, one therapist with two children. So the latest research says that the child, if the child instead of alone, at irrespective of any difficulty, if they are instead of alone, like means 1-to-1, if they are in a group, they can have a better regulation and they can have a better learning. So the social interaction has to be there in the therapy. So what happens neurologically or a neurotransmitter? Just now we Jagdish sir also is mentioning some of the neurological elements. There are certain, when the child is self-regulated, definitely the neurotransmitter production changes will be there. Then child can learn. For example, if you see the dopamine, if the child is happy, or if you watch a funny movie, that is in a dopamine dose where you are much more relaxed, and your arousal level will be maintained and you learn. With a movie we won't learn, but I'm saying for any kid, if you try to give in a happy environment or more self-regulated environment, more social interaction, then they can learn better. Okay. Same way again, if you are in a nervous system, if they are in a safety environment, they can learn better. If they are not in safety, then hormonals will always indicate them. Let us cry, let us escape, let us show some behavior, let's get out of this place. That's what happens. Okay, same way, we work at the safe, social and engaged in this ladder, rather than if we are agitated and if we are more disturbed place, then the child will be more into numb, collapse and shutdown position. Like they are not ready to learn anything. So recently, what happened? They preschoolers who is going to the school, spectrum children, they studied the. What they did is to check their emotional dysregulation before they are entering into the school. They checked in a heart rate, and then they try to give some kind of a social interaction in terms of direct speech, interacting with the kid or through music or some play mode. And after the session, after this little bit of interaction with the kid, and again they have checked the heart rate, there is a huge difference. When they are dysregulated, automatically they have seen, generally if we are under stress, our heart rate will be more. When we were in a relaxed mode, the heart rate will be in an optimal level. Still, this is not a great article, but I'm just quoting it. See, in general, though you are stressed, you sleep, lie down for some time, then automatically heart rate will go down. But this need much more result. So the summary of this this thing is, put your mind into the child's mind. Try to read what are the positive things, how to mold the child, or if the child is really finding difficulty, you have to find out what things are going wrong and where to start to regulate the child. Involve and educate the families, because they are the long-term caregivers. If you say no, you are not allowed, or you stay away, or child will behave much more worse. If you are with me, please stay away. Then that also will have an impact on the self-regulation. Work with the child in self-regulated manner. Where if the child is too much stressed, because sometimes they won't avoid the therapy session. There could be some other reason, lack of sleep or hungry or pain, they cannot express. But you should have to have that privilege to give him a chance to regulate themselves and produce more neurotransmitters at the work time. Thank you.
Please be on the stage. I request Dr. Jagdish Garu to felicitate Dr. Sharma. So please move on to the center of the stage. I welcome the last speaker of the conference, Dr. Gausya Fahim, lecturer in rehabilitation psychology, Nipat, Secunderabad. She will be giving her talk on intellectual disability, skill training support. So Jagdish Garu will chair the session. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. We'll start with our talk about the intellectual disability. As you all know, just now Jagdish sir said about the parents accept the child should be in a perfect. Their expectation will be more. As soon as when the child born and they came to know that child is having certain disability or means you can disability. So what will happen to the parents? Yeah, right. So now I'll say about what is intellectual disability. ICD-11, they turn the term mental retardation, the term mental is replaced by intellectual and retardation by the phrase disordered of development. Now we are calling mental retardation as a intellectual disability. Right. So American Association on Intellectual and Developmental Disability, AAIDD, intellectual disability. So intellectual disability is a disorder with onset during the developmental period that includes both intellectual and adaptive functions. A defect in conceptual and social practical domain. So for intellectual disability, they must meet 3 criteria. First, it should be defect in intellectual function, such as reasoning, problem solving, planning, abstract thinking, judgment, and academic learning, and learning from experience. What we say, the relate experience also, which comes under and confirmed by both clinical assessment and individualized standardized intelligence test. After doing the testing only, we can confirm that a child is having a disability. Second criteria must be meet that in adaptive functions that result in failure to meet developmental and cultural standard for personal independency and social responsibility without ongoing support. The adaptive defects which have certain limits in one or more activity of daily lives, such as communication, social participations, and independent living across multiple environment, such as in a home as well as school, work, and community. Third criteria should be must onset of intellectual and adaptive defects during the developmental period. You can see that GDT, it's a global developmental delay. So children above 1 year and up to the age of 5 years shall be given a diagnosis as global developmental delay. Means 0 से 5 years तक हम developmental delay कहते हैं, क्योंकि उसके बाद जो है 0 to 1 to 5 years में उनका development periods जो है learn करते रहते हैं, सीखते हैं from the parents, okay? Parents से सीखते हैं, siblings से सीखते हैं, environment से सीखते हैं. तो that's why धीरे धीरे सीखते हैं, तो हम उनको intellectual disability हम नेम नहीं दे सकते, लेबल नहीं दे सकते. और ये DD क्यों कहते हैं, GDD? Why we say? Because they just delay with their milestone. They didn't stop. Screening and diagnosis according to Indian Gazette 2018. So the screening children will be referred to child clinical psychologist for adaptive functions and IQ testing. The tools that can be used for the same include adaptive functioning will be BSMS and IQ testing will be BKT and MISIC. Based on the above diagnosis of ID means intellectual disability will be confirmed. Based on adaptive function assessment, the severity score will be done and the disability for ID charted. So here you can see the level of the severity, the level and the score percentage of the disability. Below 20, profound. It means 100% disability. It's a custodial. 20 to 30 score is the severe. It's a 90% disability. It means the child is dependent on parents. 35 to 49 scores. It's a moderate. It means 75% a child is trainable because we need to train. Moderate child will be trainable by the parents, teachers, and as well as from their siblings. They copy. 50 to 69 is a mild intellectual disability. 50% it will be educatable, means उनको वो लोग पढ़ सकते हैं. Mild intellectual disability children can be educatable. 70 to 84 is the borderline intelligence, which means 25% delay, which means 25% delay from the normal children intelligence. It means they can go to regular school and inclusive school. So these were the IQ and the scores, level of severity, percentage, and according how the education should be given. So I'll start with Hindi and English, both languages I'm comfortable with. So there is an adaptation process for the parents with intellectual disability. Okay, as soon as the parents came to know that बच्चा जो है disability में है, so what will happen? They go through stages. They go through the stages. So the stage first will comes to know the shock. Okay, the shock. What will they accept? The child should be, मेरा बच्चा जो है बहुत अच्छा रहना चाहिए, healthy रहना चाहिए, उसको कुछ नहीं होना, सबसे genius होना. ये सारी चीजें पेरेंट्स के एक्सपेक्टेशंस रहते हैं. वो बाहर जाएगा, वो अच्छा बनेगा, वो डॉक्टर बनेगा, वो इंजीनियर बनेगा. When they comes to know that child is a disabled, then what they will get? They will get shock. Then next, what happen after the shock? They say, अरे denial. They comes onto the denial. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. शायद वो लोग गलत डायग्नोस करे होंगे. So we'll go to the another doctor. We'll go for another testing. We'll see. Then they start comparing. Okay, they'll start comparing. Disbelief हो जाता, reality situation से disbelief करते. They don't want to believe that उनका child special है, he is in under disability, and they won't accept. They don't want to accept the reality. After denial, what they will happen? How they will go? They go to the anger. गुस्से में चले जाते. ठीक है. So when parents are begin to accept the reality of the situation, they tend to experience anger about the fact that their child has a disability. So they may search the causes of disability for someone to blame. So they search a cause of the disability. अरे पापा के फैमिली में होगा ना, तो शायद उनकी वजह से ये डिसेबिलिटी आया होगा. ये मम्मा के पास होगा, ये मम्मा उसका थोड़ा सा दिमाग कमी है, तो शायद इसके वजह से ये बच्चा ऐसा होगा. राइट. तो ये सारी चीजें जो है स्टार्ट ब्लेमिंग करते. और कभी थोड़े लोगों का फेथ रहता है, जब बच्चा पेट में रहता है, वो पे रहता है मदर के आसपास, अगर कोई कम जहीन बच्चा आस पास रहेगा तो he'll think that उसका impact जो है ये बच्चे पे आया है. So certain things they think, many things, this blaming, seeing, causing, they'll search, full to search. Then afterwards, what they will do? Go after anger, they go to the sadness. So sadness may follow to anger and is a reaction which more than any other reported. So why the sadness can be due to expecting healthy child. Okay, expecting healthy child which they are expected, or it can be due to a sadness about the loss of opportunity, that मेरा बच्चा जो है he's unable to fulfill what they were thinking of it, what they want. Then after the sadness, they go to the stage of detachment. Okay, the following sadness, parents experience a sort of detachment when they feel empty and nothing seems to matter. So acceptance of this reaction is considered to indicate that the parent has begun to accept the reality of the disability. They begin to accept the reality of the disability, and though this is the turning point for the parent. This is the turning point for the parent. So after the detachment, they'll reorganize. They'll try to reorganize. सब arrange करने की जगह रहेंगे वो. So what happened? Parents go to professionals, right? At this moment, they want to achieve a little, not much, but a little. How they can give more, reorganized, where to work, in which way to work. So they go to the professionals, they do the testing, they found out the results and all. Then after reorganization, they go to the adaptation. So adaptation is the final, and they reach to the point when they have come to term with the situations and exhibit mutual emotions, acceptance of their child disability. They accept it. So they are fully aware of a child's special need and strive to provide for this. So they now, what they will do? They agree, they accept the reality, then they proceed for it. So I have seen so many cases in our services that most of the parents won't accept that a child is disabled, or he or she is having autism. ओके, इंटेलेक्चुअल डिसेबिलिटी के साथ भी ऑटिज्म भी होता है. इट्स अ कोमॉर्बिड. सो पेरेंट्स के लिए ये चीज लेना बहुत मुश्किल है. सो अडेप्टेशन प्रोसेस के लिए ये सारे स्टेजेस पेरेंट्स होकर जाते हैं, एंड वी नीड टू डू द काउंसलिंग फॉर देम फॉर अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस स्टेज फॉर एक्सेप्टिंग द रियलिटी. दिस इज द मॉडल what with just now what I said just now. Now coming to the skills training. Okay, skills trainings for ID children's, intellectual disability children's, need to be planned. It need to be planned in a given according with the severity level of the disability. Okay, in the area of intellectual disability, skill training is mainly focused on adaptive functions. The three main domains will be the conceptual, socials, and the practical. The first is the academic skills. It means conceptual skills, which involves memory, language, reading, writing, doing mathematics, solving, problem solving, judgment, and involving solutions or situations. Whereas in social skills, domains involves awareness of others' thoughts, feelings, and experience, empathy, interpersonal communication skills, friendships, ability, and social judgment. Coming to the third skill, that is the practical skills, which involves learning and self-management across life settings. So we need to train them in a practical skills more. Why? Because nowadays what is happening, some parents, when they are not accepting a child, what they are doing? They are leaving to the residential school and all. So what is happening over there? Will they train? Will they train like mother? Will they love like mama, papa, parents? Will they have siblings? Bhaiya, behan? Will they have? Will they play? No, they won't. Right? So all those things they are missing. What they are doing? They are putting in to them in some residential school, and all this practical skill, emotional and socialization, conceptual, all are missing. So we need to train a child with a disability for them to live at least when the parents are not there in their life. They should at least able to wear a cloth, to eat a food, to ask, to give a means pani peene ke liye, for cleaning, for bathing. He should be independent, not dependent. Right? So this is very important skill training. Steps for skill training. There are certain few steps for the skill training, which you can see. It's divided each training activity into small step and demonstrate. See, intellectual disability children, they can't they can't take big instruction. We need to give them simple and small instruction. Step by step instructions you need to give. See what you have to do. Suppose if a child uh, don't know how to take a water, so what you have to do? Step. बच्चे को पकड़ो, पानी किधर है, फिल्टर किधर है, show him, take him, come with me बेटा, take glass, holding नहीं आता, just बैक साइड ऐसा आप होल्ड करिए, उनको फिल्टर के पास ले जाइए, वन हैंड उसको फिल्टर से निकालिए, सेकेंड स्टेप हो गया, पानी भरे, देन क्लोज एंड कम, सिट डाउन. ऐसा स्टेप्स रहते हैं. डेली लिविंग का स्टेप्स रहेगा, टॉयलेट क्लीनिंग का स्टेप्स रहेगा, ईटिंग के लिए स्टेप्स रहेगा, one by one step, simple instruction. If a child is unable to eat properly, what we can do? He don't know how to serve food properly, right? आप बोलते कि उसको जाओ खाना डाल के खा लो. How he can eat? So first we need to give a training that beta he take plate. He don't know plate name also. Explore ही नहीं कर रहे ना आप लोग. तो explorations भी चाहिए, right? तो see, that's a kitchen. It's a plate. इसको plate बोलते हैं. Come with me. Whatever the child name is, call his name by his name. Don't give a nickname. Nannu, Lallu, Raju, कुछ भी नहीं. Particularly जो nickname, जो name है, give, call by his name. Take him along. Remove that thali. Take food. If he is unable to put, help him. Okay? Put your hand here. Help him and serve करने बताइए. ऐसा आप 6 months या 3 months या 4 months आप ऐसा बताएंगे तो definitely it will work. It's depend upon you how you are giving the training. Okay? Simple and easy instructions. And afterwards when you start doing, no, give reward. Give reward. अरे वाह शाबाश, तुमने तो आज खाना डाल लिया, वेरी गुड. सिंपल रिवॉर्ड, वर्बल रिवॉर्ड. ओके, वर्बल रिवॉर्ड. और जैसे जैसे उसका एक्टिविटीज बढ़ते जाएगा, स्लोली व्हेन द एक्टिविटीज इंक्रीजिंग, ही इज लर्निंग, सो रिड्यूस द रिवॉर्ड. अदरवाइज व्हाट विल हैपन, ही विल बी हैबिचुएटेड फॉर द रिवॉर्ड. वो देंगे, इफ यू गिव द चॉकलेट देन ओनली आई विल वर्क. He'll start thinking like that. So we need to reduce that reward also. Activities of daily living. Basically, we are focusing on VSMS of activity of daily livings. Self-help general skills, it should be there. Self-help skills, self-help eating, self-help dressing. Dressing should be there. Self-direction, occupations, communications, locomotions and socializations. It should be trained. Functional academic, reading, writing, mathematics and conceptual. It's according to the level or severity level of the child. Social skill for ID children. is very important. So social skills are set two types, verbal and non-verbal skills used to interact and communicate with one another, such as greeting others. They don't know how to greet. You need to show them. Say hi, say bye. I think you people are ये क्या है? ये तो बहुत common है. आपके लिए common होगा, but for the child of disability is very hard. The child with autism is very hard to communicate, to express, to see. Okay, so we need to teach all these skills early as possible. Greeting others, sharing, taking turns, asking for help, using gesture and communicate. Social skills are necessary to form and maintain positive relationships with others and adjust well in the environment. So these skills may be acquired through the learning and a large influence by the parents, family members, teachers, friends and community. So everyone need to involve, not only mother. Father, mother, brother, sister, dada, dadi, nana, nani, friends and all, everyone should be involved for helping out of the child. So why social skills are important? इसलिए important है, appropriately social behavior are necessary for any person to be an acceptable member of the society. Right? अगर आपका behave अच्छा नहीं है किसी के साथ, will you accept him? You won't accept, right? So for accepting, we need to teach them from the early in a simple instruction. Keep in the mind that one thing, simple instruction step by step is a very important for the child of disability. These are the various social skills: obeying command, sharing, saying please, no, thank you, sorry, asking help, turn taking. These are all the various social skills. Guidelines for parents with teaching social skills to children with intellectual disability. Parents are the role model of their children. Parents need to practice the appropriate social behavior at home for the children with the intellectual disability to imitate. See what is happening nowadays. If a child is doing something wrong, what they will do? Mama will laugh, Papa will laugh, and what he'll say? This behavior is nice. They are laughing, so I'll do again and again. What he is learning? Negative behavior, hurting to others. Right? So, for each and everything, they need to keep in a mind that first, parents need to be modify their behavior, then children. Right? Parents need to modify. This we need to accept. This we need to digest. Early social skill training should be begin at the early age. Parents need to develop a strong social network and try to expose child to as many people as possible. The more people child meets, it's more likely that he or she will learn the interaction skills and overcoming shyness. Parents need to encourage the efforts of this child and praise instead of the pointing at the mistakes done by the child. How to teach various social skills? Obeying commands, as just now I said about that, whoever comes to your home, take a child, let him open the door. You should be a backside and say hello, hi. Then let him in and let them sit, visitors let them to sit. Then tell him to go and bring water. If he won't go, you should go along with him, help him and then bring back. Waiting for his or her turn. Turn taking is very important. Social skills training will reduce maladaptive behavior in children with intellectual disability and in turn improve their quality of life. So, now I'm going to talk about the TLM kits, teaching learning material we used to call. will give to the children with intellectual disability, which use to promote faster learning among PWID, facilitate better comprehension, promote meaningful interaction, facilitate multi-senior input, improve work and relate academic. This is going to provide by NIPIT. Free assessment and training is used for TLM kit on request. TLM kit 1 is for 0 to 3 years according to the IQ level. Kit 2 for 4 to 6 years. Kit 3 is 7 to 11 years. Kit 4 is 4 to 12 years and above. Means 12 and above, 18 and above. So they require documents as Aadhaar, disability certificate, income certificate and passport size photos. Pre-vocational and vocational centers are there for ID children's. That is NIPIT. They'll provide vocational training and pre-vocational training. Pre-vocational training 14 years and vocational training is start from 18 years and above. NIOS. Thakur Hari Prasad is also giving a vocational training as well as Swayam Krishi. This is the practical and vocational skills where we teach a child with disability with office dispatch, library helper, guest house helper, cafeteria helper, printing press helper. So we train children. In our institute in NIMH NIPIT, we train children. Adult living skills, basic academic, they should learn about self and family, job site information a little bit, money transaction, signal and symbols, and about the sex and educations, how to clean their body, how it should be there, how to behave with the opposite sex, how to maintain menstruation hygiene, marriage and parentalhood, everything they need to do, and how their behavior should be there in a working place, especially how they should behave. This is the cafeteria which is running with the disabled children. This is the loan. After getting the Sadaram certificate, they will get NHFDC loan. It's a scheme. The main objective of the scheme is to assist needy disabled person by providing concessions, loans, economic and overall employment requirement. His parent has to be a former group, society registration certificate needed, application, format and proposal of the employment setup. This is the job where the disabled children, they can apply for it, parents can apply. You can see the website over here. Then skill development training through SEPTA scheme. These are the all 9 website you can check with this. This is the Sadaram certificate we issue for the disabled children. As per information received from the Department of for Women, Children, Disabled and Senior Citizen, Government of Telangana, the following dates has been given. You can see here, Gatkesar, 3rd Friday of every month, Malkajgiri, 1st. Okay. You can see there, Vanasalipuram, Kondapur, Shahpur and Hyderabad on Thursday. Traveling concessions will be provided for the ID children's, bus concession, train concessions and the flight concession in economy. But you know what happened flight ke bare mein means most of them they don't know. DPNA code will be there after taking a ticket or before going to take the Sadaram card and show that a child is a disabled, then they will for it do the board pass. So they need all these 3 documents: Aadhaar, medical diagnostic report and passport size. This is the Kiran Mental Health of Rehabilitation, where we worked a lot. All the rehabilitation calls, counseling will provide. COVID में बहुत ज़्यादा काम में आया, now also it's working. Please help us develop skills rather than trying to treat our ill. Thank you. One video I want to share with you. Where it is. Where how we train parents. Volume is there? No volume? You can give voice over. See here, you can see that how we are judging. He don't know how to put. We are training them from past 7 months. I called that boy for BM also, for social skills also. He don't know eyes and nose. So I'm showing to the parent how to teach. See, now he's showing. This is how we need to give. We need to be with a special child, with the love and with the care in their own language. We need to be like them. I'm saying that we need to train or teach them two things each, either eyes or nose, 2 fruits, 2 vegetables, 2 body parts.
Look how well he's
Correct.
trying to communicate with his therapist. I guess it's a child with Down syndrome.
Yes, with the Down syndrome. I'm giving a star. I've seen.
Prompted you. Start.
Mhm. This is how I worked.
Wonderful.
I'm a lecturer over there in an IMH, Albazar, a consultant over there. So I do the behavior therapy, IQ assessment, take a class for MPhil student. My MPhil students are over there. Thank you, Rishi sir, for inviting me. Thank you, Somshekar sir, for inviting me. Rahul, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
The video and the last slide of her presentation was very interesting. Now I request Dr. Jagadish sir to felicitate her.
We explain the intellectual disability in detail, from the basics to the schemes, skill training,
Starting to the end.
starting to the end, in an elaborate way. Excellent. Some information really we do not know I got from you. Because most of the parents who come to the doctors, the hospitals, they'll ask these things.
Mental health.
What about the future?
Banner.
Future of my kid, financial schemes, loans, whatever. Really don't know. Now I got it. Thank you so much.
Now Dr. Somshekar is going to felicitate me.
For entire 2 days, she supported me a lot. Thank you.
Rishi sir, please felicitate Dr. Somshekar. Please come down onto the dais.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You almost work like a one-man army with all others in the background. So now we came to the last thing, the thought of time. So that would be delivered by Dr. Somshekar.
Thanks to everyone. The whole 2 day sessions are you are here. I thank at first Dr. Professor J.V. Rao Garu, Vice Chancellor of SCU, and B.V. Ramkumar Saru, sir from NIPED, and Dr. Padmaja, Dr. Lokesh Lingappa sir, and Ram Subba Reddy sir, Rishikesh sir, Josna Garu, and our BD team, Naresh especially. Almost 2 months he is in with me. And Harish, Priyanka Garu, Ramakrishna Garu, and sponsors and the technical team of SU. I thank to everyone. Thank you so much.
We thank each and everyone who helped us and
We thank each and everyone, all the participants and the backbones of this conference, and all the team who has helped us, who did a lot of background job, apart from the eminent speakers to the conference who did a wonderful job in grabbing your attention. Thank you all for your cooperation. We hope to see you soon in the next conference, probably in the next 6 months or to an year.